But speaking of security, military strategy, this is probably the best thing that's ever been sent to me.
Yeah.
Actually, it's too small now for me to read. RFM, you reposted this. Do you want to read this post that was sent to me?
I did repost this. Thank you, Rebecca.
Oh, gosh.
This is apparently there's a faith promoting rumor out there that I hadn't heard until today. It's captured here in the slide. The U.S. military relies on battle strategies from Captain Moroni. So this person, who is a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, says, just a fun little factoid for the day, exclamation point. Did you know the U.S. military uses the war chapters of the Book of Mormon to teach military strategy? CPT Moroni is seen as one of the best military strategy minds ever, even in the U.S. military.
Source, please.
Yeah, here's the source. Look, she goes on to talk about how her husband, was taught this in the military.
Can you read that?
Right, I can read it. She says, when my husband was in the ROTC, they were required to read the war chapters of the Book of Mormon and discuss Captain Moroni's military strategies. They are used often by the U.S. military. Even now that he has been in a while, I think that's her husband, many soldiers know who that is simply from their military strategy discussions, right? And people are questioning on her about it. She says, it's generally true. As I said, they did a lot with it when my husband was in ROTC. He didn't go to a church-owned school. So this is not church-owned, not Utah. He had heard about it a lot in almost 2 decades in the military. Granted, every officer may not teach that, but a lot of us non-LDS do. But a lot of non-LDS do. I always thought it was pretty cool, and people kind of went nuts over it. This person's describing all the amazing strategy in the Book of Mormon,
so cool.
Which, of course, is 19th century. My co-host Landon said, as a former Army officer, I can tell you this is completely false. Why would anyone study Nephite tactics with the Lamanites when we have detailed battle strategies of Middle Earth between the hobbits, elves, and the dwarves, right?
The Battle of Pelennor Fields is particularly instructive.
Yes. No, but
I mean, this guy is just lying, or he's a Mormon who ran into another Mormon who's in ROTC. I mean, my gosh, it's not exactly the Pentagon. He's in ROTC, right? And so he uses a couple of these things because he's a Mormon.
Right.
And so now this guy has extrapolated that into being used nationwide by the Army to teach its military cadets, its finest minds, how Captain Moroni won the battles for the Nephites.
Oh my goodness. And I put this, I posted this several places, and one post caught my eye. The guy said, I taught ROTC at BYU for 15 years. We do not cover this, but I did remind me, my parents used to tell me that Captain Moroni was in George Washington's tent. George Washington would be out fighting all day, come back battle weary and tired. And there's Moroni, with a hot cup of coffee and saying, let's sit down. Let's go over this. So we owe America to Captain Moroni. That's what my parents taught me.
Yes. Well, the story I heard was it was worse than that. Moroni was in George Washington's cot.
Oh,
be that as it may. Now, I'm sure I'm not the only one who used to hear this.
Who played the
missionary I'm sorry, Bill, what?
Who played the trumpet?
Yikes.
I'll just go on with my story since this isn't Mormonism After Dark. Like I didn't start this, right?
Exactly.
So anyway, no, when I'm at the MTC in 79, everybody knew that the CIA sent their agents. No, actually, they came over to study at the MTC the language training that was going on because they couldn't believe that young men and women were learning these foreign languages so much faster than they could teach their CIA agents these foreign languages. So they would send CIA guys, spooks, if you will, over to the MTC so they could study the techniques that were used at the MTC. And then they go back and try them at the CIA. They just didn't work. And you know why that was, don't you, Rebecca? Because they didn't have the Holy Ghost.
Must be the Spirit. Yeah.
They didn't have the Holy Ghost.
No.
They're spooks, but they didn't have the Spirit.
Yeah. So I'd be curious, anybody in our chat who has military experience, if they were ever asked to read the war chapters, and then a lot of other comments I saw as I posted this are, what strategy? In the Book of Mormon, they basically build something to hide behind. What strategy? So anyway, that's all I got.
There's that. Well,
There's one strategy that they use twice. It's the same one, and they stole it from Joshua. So you could just go to the Bible.
You
Go
could
to the
straight
source if you
Bible.
want.
Yeah.
faith promoting rumors are always fun.